Today we'll be dealing with Grid, a new container released by Apple as an alternative to using VStack and HStacks. So we will use Grid and Grid Row to display a list of reservations that are being done in a restaurant. We'll start with an app that's already set up to make reservations. So this will be used initially by, let's say, a server, and they will be the ones booking the table for the customer. So it's through an app. So we have an iPad set up here. This is an app. We have our sidebar just for now, just with the reservation section. The user can see the reservations made in the restaurant. For now, they're just displayed with the name, the date, the guest, and the occasion. This is just a string. We're going to improve this row, and the user has a form where they can input the information, the name of the guest, the occasion if there is one, so anniversary, birthday, or other, the number of guests. We have a stepper here to increase or decrease, and a date picker. After they finish, they can just book the reservation, and that's it. So we're all set up. Now, what we're going to focus on in this exercise is improving this row. So let's make it more presentable. For now, what we have was just a list and VStacks, right? So let's change this so we can improve how each of these rows looks like. We can do this by starting with Grid. So we will not use list. Instead of that, we'll use a grid. And what we will have inside of our grid is a for each. And instead of a VStack, each of these will be a grid row. Now, once you specify the grid row struct, let's remove the alignment. It will just behave as an HStack, right? So each of the elements will be assigned a column inside of the row. Now let's begin by, yes, the name under which the reservation is. Then we will have a text with the date. For now, let's just add the date. So we'll have the reservation date, and text has an option to add a style. So we'll just have the date, not the time. Next, we will have the number of guests. Let's just leave it at that number. We'll format it later. And for the occasion, let's just save that for later. Okay, have it like this. Doesn't look quite well. Let's add a bit of padding to the row. A little bit better. And so we have three types of occasion: anniversary, birthday, or other. We also have none in case, they're not celebrating anything. So if the reservation is different than none, then we will have an icon. I already have created a method for this, which is this method. So for birthday, we have an icon with a color, anniversary, another one, other, another one, and none is an empty view, but we won't care about this case since we're never actually calling this method. So it will look like this. Now, we are having our rows, but let's also add a header so we can tell easily which is which. For example, now the number of guests, we actually don't know it's a guest. We can do that easily, stepping outside of the for each and creating another grid row. Choose the name, and we'll use font headline, which we were previously using for the name. Let's remove this. So we have the name. Copy this for the date and the guest. Okay, there we go. Let's also add so here we have for the none, there's actually nothing occupying this space. We want to use the entire horizontal space. So let's make the date bigger if the occasion is none. How do we do that? Here on the date, we specify the grid cell columns. So the reservation.occasion is none. None. Then we will use 2. If it is any of the other cases, we'll use 1. And now notice here how only for the one that was none, the date expands and we have more space for the date. In the other ones, there's no problem, and we have the icon assigned. What else are we missing? Well, the rows don't look that pretty. So let's, first of all, add a scroll view in case the list gets bigger. And let's also add, let's add a divider for this. So after each of the grid rows, the padding will add a divider. Now, here we had a desired effect, but maybe you won't. Notice how, let's comment the divider and see the change again in the simulator. So previously we had this horizontal space aligned with the padding. Everything was being drawn according to this grid row. However, the divider expands the entire width of the view. And we have now the divider leading everything here. We can prevent this by adding a grid cell unsized axis, and here we want this to ignore the horizontal axis. And with this we can prevent that. Now that's again only if you want to add it. Here we actually do want, and let's take out the entire space. For now we can see that the number of guests is, we're kind of mixing the number of guests and the icon. So let's make the number of guests be 2 columns. Much better. Okay, and there we have our presentation. I'm using an iPhone because it's much easier in the preview, but let's see how it looks on the iPad. Now here we have our row with the date and the guest. We have a lot more space to use, especially if we hide the sidebar. So let's also add the time only for when we have enough space horizontally. For the iPhone view, we actually just want the name, the date, the number of guests, and the occasion. For that, we can use an environment key. Sorry, not environment key, environment variable. Here we specify the key path. So it's a horizontal size class. And then we will only add the time when this horizontal class is regular. The H class is regular. Then we add another column, which would be the time. Here we have it in the preview. It does work. For now, it won't be that visible because I'm not going to zoom out, but let's add this condition here with the date. So we're going to do it after the date, and we're going to use pretty much the same text. The only difference here is that the style will not be the date, it will be time. Pretty much like this. And let's see it full screen in the simulator. Oh yeah, and before running on the simulator, let's first check our preview. Notice how the time is still not visible here. Let's run it on the simulator. And there we do have the time in the iPad. Notice again how on the iPhone it was much clearer here with the amount of space we have. Maybe we do want a specific column for the occasion, even if it is none. So let's add another condition here. So only if it is none and the H class is compact. We'll use that. same for this. If it's different than none, or if the age class is regular, we will use the icon always. Let's run it again. Okay, this looks better. We have our grid. Let's try booking another one here. Birthday, we have forecast. Let's set it here. Okay, there we have it. We'll deal with sorting and other stuff of representing the row in the view model on another video. And that was all for today. Grid is a very convenient way that Apple offers in creating a list organized in columns. We didn't notice that we didn't have to worry about every one of the rows occupying the same size horizontally. So for example, the name, everything is contained inside of the column with the same width. We don't have to worry about aligning everything. So it's pretty convenient. We also have modifiers like the grid columns and the grid size, just to avoid any unexpected behavior when trying to play around with the layout for different occasions, like it happened when we had an occasion not. That was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Bye.